Okay, so two very important questions that I learned to ask that came from sort of the practices and ideas of Professor Stuart McGill, and very important, seem very simple and innocuous, but very important, because at the end of the day, when we're sort of trying to assess someone's back pain, we're trying to do what we call like pattern recognition. So each particular type of injury gives off a very specific type of pain, and from there we can work backwards to remove aggravators, let things start to settle down, and start to get people on the right sort of track to being pain-free. And those two questions are, do you have good versus bad days? And does your pain change throughout the day? Very important, again, seem very innocuous, but from those two things, if someone says they have they have good days versus bad days, we can tell it's, the back's kind of responding to things they do. It might be at work, might be how they train, might be how they exercise, but we can find a pretty obvious pattern with certain aggravators and kind of work from there. Or if someone says their pain, changes throughout the day. So say, for example, some people feel pretty good in the morning, they feel worse as the day goes on. Again, that's a sign that whatever they're doing during the day is sensitizing their back to pain. If they're the opposite way, they feel terrible in the morning, better as the day goes on, chances are they've probably got an instability issue. Now, having said that, it doesn't happen very often, but if I ask someone those two questions and they say something like, nope, it never changes, it's the same 24/7, can't get rid of my pain, doesn't matter what I do, what position I'm in, whether I go for a walk, don't go for a walk, whether I rest, have an active day, it's always exactly the same. That is a massive red flag that I cannot help them. And there's many different causes of lower back pain. But again, if there's no clear pattern of it, being worse or better, there's nothing I can do to influence. That's going to be a far more serious issue at hand. That's going to need a lot more investigation from potentially like a neurosurgeon or a proper spinal specialist. For example, people can have serious trauma to their spine, or they could have there's a whole raft of particular cancers that can affect the spine and your nerves. All these things, again, if that pain never ever changes, I can't help them with it. So again, it's always one of the first things I ask. Seems like a very simple, sort of simple two questions to ask, kind of innocuous. But again, answer those two questions. A, lets me know if I can help, and then B, starts to give me an indicator as to what the pattern is, and the pattern itself will tell me what the potential problem is. Again, very important, things on clinical sort of pearls that I've learned from Professor Stuart McGill, and again, it helps us out investigative process when someone comes with back pain, and we get very quickly on the right track to helping them settle that pain down. So again, always pay attention. Do you have good versus bad days, and or does your pain change throughout the day? Starting to answer those two questions, see the pattern, it will start to give you clues as to what your injury may be.